to measure for a top or blouse. Start at the top of your tape by measuring the neck like so. At the point where the top of your tape meets your tape in a circle is your measurement of the neck. Now, to measure the shoulders, we will be measuring between the two farthest points on the shoulder. We start at one point and trace that to the same point on the other side, and there is your measurement. To measure for an off-shoulder top, you will be wrapping the tape around the chest together with the arms. The point where the top of your tape meets your tape in a circle is your measurement. Then, to measure the sleeves, you start at the highest point of the arm, which is where the arm meets the shoulders. Placing the top of your tape at this point, you trace that down to the bone at the wrist for a long sleeve measurement. For a 3/4 sleeve measurement, you start at the same point and stop about 3 or 4 inches after the elbow. For a half sleeve measurement, starting at the same point, you trace your tape down to the elbow. And for a short sleeve measurement, you do the same, but you stop your tape about 3 or 4 inches before the elbow. To measure the bust, you take your tape round the back, under the arms, around the fullest part of your bust. Make sure it is firm yet comfortable. Now, to measure the underbust, which is one of the 3 parts of the waist measurement, you wrap the tape around the torso just under the bust. Make sure you have firm wrap of the torso and comfortably tucked under the bust. For the length of the top, you start at the highest point between the shoulder and the neck and trace that down. On your way down, you might want to take note of the length of the navel, and then you continue downward to about 7 inches after the waistband. Still regarding the length, you want to measure how far down the bust is, so you start at the top and trace that down to the nipple. The top being the highest point between the neck and shoulder, and you trace that down to the nipple. In the same fashion, you want to measure the length to the underbust from the top. Another important measurement in the bust area is the nipple to nipple measurement. You place the top of your tape at one nipple and trace that across to the other nipple, and there is your measurement. Now, to measure the second part of the waist measurement, you take your tape around the back, around the tummy, right across the navel. Make sure it is as firm and comfortable as possible. This is called the upper waist measurement. And for the third part of the waist measurement, which is the lower waist, you take your tape and wrap around your waistband. You make this as firm as possible. At the point where the top of your tape meets the rest of the tape in a circle is your measurement. Then for the hip measurement, you wrap the tape around the widest area of the hips with the person's legs close together. You make sure the wrap is firm and comfortable. At the point where the top of your tape meets the tape in a circle is your measurement. How to measure trousers. start at the waist. Form a firm wrap of the waist, also known as the lower waist. At the point where the top of your tape touches the rest of your tape in a circle is your measurement. Make sure to take a firm measurement. To measure the hips, you wrap the tape around the widest area of the hips with the person's legs close together. You make sure the wrap is firm but comfortable. At the point where the top of your tape meets the tape in a circle is the measurement. Now, to get the width of the leg around the thigh, you take your tape through the crotch, forming a circle round the thigh. At the point where the top of your tape touches the rest of your tape is your measurement. You do the same at the knee to get the width of the leg at the knee. Then you come down to the end of the trouser and measure in the same fashion to get the measurement of the end of the trouser. For a palazzo style trouser, the same method applies but with a wider width. Hence, for the thigh, you give an additional 3 inches allowance. For the knee, you give an additional 6 inches allowance. And at the ankle, also known as the end of the trouser, you give an additional 5 inches allowance. For the length of the trousers, starting at the waist, you trace down to the ankle to get your measurement.